All of us will face temptation, but the question is when do we seek counsel? We all need help, and God's put people in our path to help us with a temptation. Check out today's sermon shorts as we talk specifically about that thought with Pastor Ray. Hey, Pastor, today on Sermon Shorts, we want to go back to this past Sunday's message entitled Victory Over Temptation. And I'd love for you, as you wrap the sermon up, you talked specifically just about fighting the battle today and doing that personally and seeking that. But at what point would you encourage a follower of Christ to seek out counsel and help when they're dealing with temptation and the attack of the enemy?
Well, that's a good question. As we talked about, none of us are exempt from temptation, and anybody that tells you they are is not shooting straight with you, because that's an ongoing battle. As I said in the message, from the time you become aware of this battle, this spiritual battle that's going on in your life, until the time we're in heaven or Christ comes and returns and takes us there, we're going to battle with temptation. It's just a reality. It's a fact. It's why we're given armor.
Right.
Paul talks about the armor. That's important for us to wear. And sometimes what happens is the devil gains so much ground in our life because of temptation that he's yielded to. Really, James's whole passage is talking about more than just temptation, really.
Right.
We use that as kind of the springboard, but he's talking about the process of where temptation leads. And temptation that is repeatedly yielded to, and I'm talking about the same kind of temptation. A person has an area of their life that they just constantly battle. That kind of temptation the devil can use to, if you'll let me use this analogy, set up a camp in our life. And so he takes over some ground in our life, and he keeps attacking at that place because he builds some strength. And our resistance is low there, and so he knows he can keep attacking there.
Right.
So now the answer to the question: so at what point in time do you say, I need some help? I need to talk. I think that generally is needed when a person realizes, I just constantly kept losing the same battle over and over and over. Now you got to be careful there.
Right.
And that is, you don't want to just sit down and start talking to anybody and say, hey, here's an area of temptation that I just constantly, you certainly don't want to share that with the gossip, right?
Right.
Say, would you pray for me? I know you talk to a lot of people, so you don't want to do that. But if you've got some trusted people in your life.
That's good, yeah.
And that you say, I know that I can talk to this person, and this person will pray for me.
Right.
And keep me accountable. Accountability is a huge thing when a person continues to battle with temptation. And when we say battle with it, I mean by that yielding to it.
Yeah.
Because that's really what we're talking about here. So find a person that you have confidence in. Mm-hmm. It may be that you need to talk with someone. It may not even be a friend. It may be like a pastor or something that you have confidence in. And even a good, solid Christian counselor that can help you build up defenses. But and obviously, the Scripture is our greatest source of counsel. But we still need this accountability of relationships sometimes. Mm-hmm. And so, my counsel would be get counsel when you've got an area that you just cannot seem to have any long-term victory in, that you just continue to yield and continue to yield and continue to yield. Yeah. And what the devil does is he's such a bully, because if there's an area that you continue to yield in, what he does is he heaps not only attack in that area, but he then starts making the person feel like a complete spiritual failure.
Yeah.
And then he heaps guilt on them and guilt on them and guilt on them, and then they begin to think, well, I can't live the Christian life. This one area or this 2 or 3 areas has just so defeated me. So, as I said in the message, first of all, don't quit, don't give up.
Right.
Get up and fight the battle new tomorrow, then the next day and the next day.
Right.
But it's not a bad thing to find accountability and or counsel from someone that you trust spiritually.
That's right. Yeah.
It's very important.
That's right.
and maybe even someone that has battled that area that you're battling.
Yeah, that's good.
And so, but a trusted friend that is going to protect that and is genuinely going to pray with you about that. But it's the place or the point where you are battling an area that has set up some camp in your life, and you just keep failing and keep failing and keep failing. And so now you feel like a failure. You just need some accountability and help.
Right. Hey, flip the script for just a second for us as we wrap up today. But what would you say to the person that someone comes to seeking counsel? How would you encourage them to help someone else dealing with temptation if they came to them and talked to them about it?
Well, first of all, you reassure them that you love them.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Number two, that you will pray with them.
Right.
Number three, that you will protect the confidence.
Yeah.
That's very important. Chase, the reason most people don't get help in those areas because they're embarrassed sometimes.
Right.
Spiritually, they don't want people to think less of them.
Yeah.
So it's important for the person that they've come to be able to say, number one, I'm in your corner.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Number two, I've got areas that I battle. So they say, well, even the people that I know battle temptation. Number three, they need to affirm them for who God says they are, not for what the devil says they are.
Right.
That's
good.
So those kinds of things of affirmation, not affirmation of the area where they're yielding,
right,
but affirmation of them as a believer, what God says about them, remind them of how victory can be won.
Yeah, that's good.
So that they can share that with the person.
Yeah.
And then genuinely do what they've asked. I'm going to pray for you. Yeah. And then set up some time. Let's have some follow-up time.
Yeah, that's good.
So you can kind of tell me where your progress is, that sort of thing.
Yeah, that's great encouragement today for us, Pastor. As you've already mentioned, we all are going to face temptation, and we can get through this together, but also be reminded of the victory that the Lord brings to us and the hope that's in Him. And I just loved how you said, fight the battle today and keep moving forward and seek that victory. So again, thanks for these words, Pastor. Yeah. Keep fighting the battle. You and I have the opportunity to be victorious over temptation, and it will come through the victory in Jesus and also the people God puts in our path to help us overcome these things. Thanks for checking out Sermon Shorts today. We hope it was an encouragement to you in your life.